Great times, high vibes right now. Let's just continue it by picking up all the pieces from Saturday's loss to Michigan and wonder where do we go from here? What's the point of this last month?
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Today's episode of Locked On Spartans is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. $20 off your first purchase. Those just might be free tickets then for the Penn State game at that point, or you might be getting money handed to you. If you use that for the Maryland game, I digress, guys. Thanks a lot for listening to Locked On Spartans, and I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. Listening to a show about a team that has lost 5 straight games, 4 in a row to their rival, has just looked as lifeless as ever. Thank you very much for still being somewhat involved with this program, both the podcast program and the actual Michigan State football program. Please rate, review, subscribe, comment below. And guys, it's not just me blabbing on and on, just in my own asylum over here. No, we dragged someone else in. He is 1/3 of the Can't Read, Can't Write podcast. His name is Mike Jones. And Mike, I got a take. Hopefully I do. I do a podcast. You'd hope I have some takes. But look, it comes from a place of what is going to be perceived as salt. Is that okay if I just get a salty take out there? And I don't think it is, but I know that there's at least a portion of people out there that will find this to just be a salty little take from old Sparty over here.
Channel your inner Salt Bay. Let's see you do the drizzle.
Ooh, do it to him. All right. Because here it comes. Look, Michigan State, they lose in a not even close game. 31-17 was the final. It doesn't matter what the final score was. No, it was 31-20. Again, it does not matter. It was not even that close. And yeah, obviously you're upset to lose against your rival for the 4th straight year. But here's my big takeaway. And I've had little takeaways after every single game this year. And the first one is a bad example because it was in hindsight. In hindsight, yeah, needing double overtime at home against a horrible Boston College team. That pretty much wrote everything there had to be written on the wall there. But after that, USC. Okay, my main takeaway was there's still a massive talent disparity here.
Sure.
This is a really good athletic USC team. We're not even capable of hanging around them. Yes, I know it was a 7-point game at some point in the second half. They were scoring at will anyway. The Nebraska game, this is when I realized that, okay, the staff isn't the answer. The Indiana game, who cares? What other takeaways can you have from that? But here I am after the Michigan game. And this is where the salt comes in because, Mike, yes, Michigan's like a fine team, but hard stop there. I don't even think they're like that great of a team, right? Just like the same way I don't think Nebraska's that great of a team, right? Just like the same way I certainly don't think, now that we all know this, Boston College, certainly not a good team. My biggest takeaway is not just like, oh, I can't believe we lost to that Michigan team. I can't believe how far away we are from any of this looking competent. And it's not just the Michigan game thing. It is the last month plus a week of the season. You're not even competitive. The final score says against Nebraska, right? Like you're not even competitive against this Michigan team. Like how did it get so bad? How have we not even taken any steps forward in any sides of the ball from last year? So, Mike, that's just my one big take is it's just dumbfoundness, right? It's nothing it's nothing of substance. It's nothing that's going to help anything. I'm just shocked that it's this bad in year 2. Do you have anything that you just have to still take away 48 hours after that game? Or where are you at right now? Are you a healthy individual and you're just done with it? Or talk to me, Mike.
I was chatting with my co-host, Kevin Greck, and we were talking about, coming on here to chat. And I was like, I don't want to be melodramatic. Well, first I was like, I'm just that dead inside that I don't know that I've got a great take. But
the spot to do it. Come on.
He was commenting that it was a death spiral, and it's funny because I was at one point. This is gonna be super sad. But anyone who's had someone in their life who my grandfather was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And like that is as close.
Sorry to hear that. Let me. I'm not going to let that pass. This
was a while ago. Super sad loss. But like anyone who knows that kind of cancer knows that it is almost certainly not going to go well.
Sure.
Right. And so it feels like we're in the point in the season right now where you just know that it's over, and so there's nothing there's no happiness anymore, right? Like there's no memories to be gained. It's just sad and over, and so like that's really dark, obviously.
I'm starting
like,
to laugh right now.
no,
Wow.
like, and I was like,
yeah. I mean,
God, this is terrible, but this is the best analogy I can come up with. Is
but
that like,
I'll be damned if it's not spot on.
right, like it feels like we're a program that is walking around with inevitable death. And so you talk about being juiceless in a like a more positive or a certainly less dramatic term, and but like that's where we are. Is that you couldn't? We were talking last night when we were recording our podcast that, but yeah, I guess technically they could make a bowl game. Who cares?
Could you even imagine if they did? Like that would be confusing wild at this point.
that they could make a bowl game. Like, to be clear, any listeners who are here, I don't think this is going to happen, but like they could make a bowl game for the first time in 3 years, and I'd still be like, "No, this isn't working. This is not working. We're dead." So anyway, like great for the live stream. Lead with Grandpa with cancer. But like,
numbers are numbers. Hey, we're here to get eyeballs and ears, man. Any way possible, we're doing it. No, that's so funny because like, the whole like off season, I'm saying like, hey, if you get to 7 wins, that's my expectation here. I could take 6 wins. I'll throw a parade if you just make it to the Game Above Sports Bowl. It'd be awesome. But like, sure. A monkey paw somewhere curled and said, I can make this the nastiest 6 wins you've ever seen, and wanting everyone dead and shipped off to sea in a Viking funeral. But like, again, to reiterate the point here, I'm not predicting this team gets 6 wins. I'll be actually a little surprised if they can get up to 4 wins at this point. But my God, that would be objectively hilarious if they could find a way, which, I don't know, like at Minnesota, I guess.
Isn't it down to 3.5?
Is that what it is now?
Isn't it down to, can you imagine being a 3.5 favorite at home to this team? Like,
what does that say about them? God,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I know, right? So we're not the only team struggling in the Big Ten, right? But then, like, you beat a Penn State team in your last game at Spartan Stadium of the year, and then can you beat? No, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing the whole like talk myself into 6 wins because I don't even know if I want to see it at this point. I don't even want another game of this,
right?
Quite frankly.
Well, but so here's the thing. I guess. All right, I'm gonna derail us here for a second, but
please do.
Your take there. I haven't been able to articulate this quite well enough, so maybe you can help me out here. But you also made the comment that it's bad pretty other places. I don't know that it's been as bad other places. Other places not named Rutger or Maryland, I guess. But
yeah, sure.
Why are we so bad? Like year over year bad, and even Iowa, who doesn't have on paper the talent that we would have, is still able to put out a competent terrible in offense, but like
can win any day, like in theory they can win at least. Right.
You're watching football. Like I don't know that I'm watching football. I can't hear another coach say, well, 10 guys were doing their job and the 11th one wasn't. And it's like, well, why? And it's 2 staffs now in a row that have said this.
And that's why it's gotten this bad, right? It's just compounding issues with previous regimes, whether it's the Smith one, whether it's Tucker. You want to throw D'Antonio under the bus for how he left things here, too. Like, I'm all ears. Like, look, when it's this bad, when you're this uncompetitive in this many, like, marginally big games, like, it's on the players, it's on the coaches, it's on support staff, it's on the engineering department, I'm sure, a little bit. The cafeterias need to serve better food. Like, I don't know, the Red Cedar River can probably be cleaned up. Like, it just falls on literally everything that has touched this program in the last how many years, which I know is not a solution. That doesn't make it better. It actually maybe even paints a picture of how bad it truly is. But that's just what hung me up the most on Saturday is like, this was the most gettable Michigan team since last year, but I don't think they're going to be this down for the next few years, whether that's by way of their recruiting is going to be just fine, their transfer portal with the money they have, and like that's not a smarmy comment, that's just reality. Like,
right,
this is their most vulnerable period right now. Like Bryce Underwood, he's not going to be a freshman the next 2-3 years. Like, that was it, and that's how you That's how you looked. You had to backdoor cover on another Alessio Milivojevic touchdown at the very end. So there's one other thing that I want to talk about as it pertains to this game, and you got to let me know if I'm a bad fan here, Mike, because the penalty, the offsides that wasn't, I kind of just brushed that aside in the post-game show, and I want to know if I was in the right there. But first, I need to talk everyone's ears off about FanDuel Sportsbook. That's right, guys, because just like Mike said, the Michigan State line is like looking weird on the road. They've lost 5 straight. They've looked horrible in pretty much every single game, but yet, like, okay, less than a touchdown. Whatever. Let's say that you want to distance yourself as far away from football as humanly possible, and whom amongst us wouldn't want to do that? The NBA is back. And there's no better place to get in on all that NBA action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of a game or you want to ride the hot hand during a game, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score the next fourth quarter, basket for, hey, how big this comeback going to be. Guys, there's so many props, so many same-game parlays. You won't believe it when you go to FanDuel, guys. And you could even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay, like I said, for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that last-second push. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins, guys. That's right. First $5 bet, if it wins, $300 in bonus bets for new customers. So what are you waiting for? Head to FanDuel.com and sign up to play now with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now let's drag him back out here. 1/3 of the fantastic Can Read, Can Write podcast. It is the one, the only Mike Jones. And Mike, tell me if I'm a bad fan here because, addressed the offsides comment pretty early in the post-game show. And of all things to get feedback on, we didn't get too much of this, although, as always in life, there's the vocal minority. My big takeaway was, they blew the offsides call. I feel horrible for Jordan Hall because, he was injured the very next play, and that is worth being very upset about. But, 10-7 game, Michigan State, they get a stop, and as important, they get the ball back in, decent-ish field position. But, I don't know, were they going to score anyway? What for the previous 3.5 quarters would have led me to believe that they would have scored anyway, right? And yes, I understand, that took the wind out of the sails completely on the defense, but the refs aren't making you go untouched for 14 yards to the end zone in a future touchdown. So I don't know. I get it. It had ramifications. It sucked the energy out of Spartan Stadium, but I wasn't one of the State fans that held too much rage against it. Am I a bad fan? Do you think that call was actually bigger than I'm making it out to be? Or are you as beaten down to smithereens as I am and you're like, nothing would have happened anyway?
I mean, the problem is you have all of this data to back you up that nothing.
Unfortunately. Yeah, right.
And you compound that with, even if something did happen, the coaching staff, we clearly haven't, there's no indication that they wouldn't have bungled it somehow themselves. So that said, I mean, I guess the counterpoint would be that this team has been so deprived of any momentum.
Yeah, that's true.
That maybe that was their moment in the sun that would have kickstarted this whole thing. But I don't know. Maybe we were supposed to get jobbed on that thing so that we're here having this conversation instead of a different one. Could you imagine the weird conversation we're having if we'd won that game?
I talked about it last week. It's after the 48-ish hour mark, after the high, and we all come down from our Twitter comments and that's when reality was set in how strange a win with this staff that's kind of like a Walking Dead operation thing piece. So I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So look, you're right. Absolutely. Jordan Hall. I mean, though, I think, there's some final destination level math you have to do for who knows, maybe, is fate real? Don't he have gotten hurt anyway?
Is any of this real?
Right. So
get into it.
Right. So I don't want to go down that, but I think it's for the best. We could have just been, it would just be another thing that we could be angry about, that we got that turnover and the offense didn't do anything, as if we should have, as if that's a reason to rail on the offense other than the fact that they're bad. I don't know. You're not a bad fan, or I'm also one. You do this 5 days a week, Matt. You can't be it's it's impossible for you to be a bad fan.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
So like, I really loathe that school, and winning does mean a lot. And the idea that maybe that would have changed things, I get why people are coming at it from that perspective. I really do.
Same, right.
But
it wasn't a bad missed call. Like, it wasn't like, I don't even think it was fringe. I know that like Wolverines fans, even though they won, still want to pull up screenshots to show us how wrong we were. But like, that was a bad call. Like, it's okay to admit it in a win, guys. I promise you.
There were a couple DPIs that were missed, right?
You think? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but
they still lose the game anyway, I think. Like, that's
we could, if we could be having an entirely different conversation if there was any evidence to suggest that Michigan State was going to win that game. And if you're counting on a momentum swing and then a capitalizing on it and then it turning into a whole different game, I think, you've kind of jumped the shark on like looking at things with clarity. And trust me, again, as someone who really hates that school and wants to win this game, I appreciate why people are coming at it from that perspective, but it doesn't make you a bad fan.
Let's just try something weird here. I don't know, like in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, 4 in a row, you've lost now to Michigan. Let's try to find some silver lining in all this, because up next to my outline is like any redeeming qualities from this game. Just like, who wants to hear about this? The defense had 15 pressures. Woo, that's pretty cool. Bryce Underwood looked more like a guy named Jesus than a guy named Jesus Christ himself, like I was led on to believe. But, like, again, does this even matter? Like, they lost the game. They lost it by a lot. But here's one other thing, too, and I've gotten a few comments like this. And, I mean, this has been, like, look, if you're a glass half full person, this is where you've been going here, is that Joe Rossi showed a lot of fire. He showed a lot of tenacity on that sideline. It wasn't just his unit that had good spurts, but he brought the energy. And there's an email that we got from Brett that I'm going to read off from lockedonspartans@gmail.com. But I know there are a lot of negatives, things that frustrated all of us on Saturday. However, there was one thing that I felt was a positive and was happy to see. Joe Rossi on the sidelines showing some emotion every time the defense made a good play. It was refreshing to see someone show emotion and show that they do care about what is happening on the field. Mike, this is how starved this fan base is for anyone with a quarter zip and a headset to even look like they marginally care on the sidelines. Like, we got our teeth kicked in again, but damn it, the defensive coordinator got down to the field, and he was happy when his team made like a play. This is the sad state of affairs we're in. I hate it.
Try hard guy.
I hate it here, man.
Yeah, look, I liked it too.
I would have liked it starting last year, personally. I mean,
yeah,
that's just me. But
I appreciate a coordinator who's like, hey, is this my job or is that your job, head coach? But, I liked it.
Sure.
This is probably, I'm sure you have a lot of comments and emails that would indicate otherwise. I don't think there's a ton of evidence to indicate that Joe Rossi's actually a bad coordinator. I think there's a ton of
I've been on that train since the start. I look, it hasn't been a perfect season. Eventually, everything ladders up to him. But I think the game plans he's walked into games with have actually been okay.
Yeah,
it's just the players can't produce sometimes. So
we picked up our defense from the bargain bin at the dollar store. Like it's. I mean, they're pretty much paying us to play. Like it's not good, and so the Joe Rossi, there's people you wish it could work out for, because he does seem like a really smart guy who probably hopefully gets a head coaching opportunity in his career. Like, he doesn't seem like he wants to lose his job here.
That's a redeeming quality.
Yeah. I appreciate a guy who recognized the stakes, both as it relates to the rivalry and his career and tried to pull every single lever he could. I respect that.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
But does that mean he's also leaving when this is all done?
I was going to say, it's all too little too late to at this point. It's weird. Like, yeah, hey, thanks a lot for showing fire, which is like something you should always see on a football sidelines, but like it's so rare in the last 2 years here. Like, hey, thanks for finally doing it. But yeah, he was coaching as if like the other 9 assistants like just rented out their homes when they moved away from the West Coast, and he actually had the legitimate for sale sign in his yard, and like he doesn't got that house in Minnesota to go back to. Like there ain't no next step. There ain't no going back to home. He gave it his all. His unit did for the most part, but like again, does anyone want to fill the A gap on that inside run? Anyone is anyone capable of doing that? I don't.
Yeah, there was one play, Martina. It was one of the big run plays. Haynes, I think it was Haynes, bounced it outside, and Martinez went to plug an interior gap that was not his. He was supposed to set the edge.
Just a helping friend.
But it's because no one was there on. Like he should have done his assignment, right? If he does his assignment, almost certainly it's not a 25, 30-yard run.
Yeah.
But I wish these players knew that they just frankly are not good enough to play hero ball. But like, that's what happened.
Yeah,
and it's because someone else biffed, right? Like, so I don't know. Matt, I have a question.
Okay.
Do you think that this staff is comprised of bad teachers? Or this team is comprised of bad students?
Nothing sickens me more than talking about the hardworking student athletes of university that they just represent greatly, right?
Sure.
With that said, you can't play a guy. I don't have the Pro Football Focus numbers in front of me right now, but last week at least against Indiana, having a guy that spot started at East Carolina playing 40+ snaps for you at the nickel, probably not good. Having a guy that wasn't even a starter at Georgia State and then not even a starter at Jacksonville State where he was prior to that, playing like 20, 30 snaps for you at a Big Ten level. Maybe I'm just a big meanie and a big bully. Yeah. Not ideal, though. Not a winning formula for football here. And then, I don't know, resting all your hope on a safety that has, like, no, I'm not going to. I was going to say that has saltine crackers for bones, but that would be very unfair to him. That is like the most injury play guy possible.
Right.
Like, we're just resting all your hope on him and like hoping that he'll make everything better. Like,
yeah,
it's the answer is both, but like, boy, I think it kind of just leans to perhaps the player sometimes, man. I don't find any joy in saying that. I don't find any joy in saying that, but it's the truth.
Yeah. I don't know. But silver linings, I think, was your question. I think you were trying to take this to a positive place. Ryan Eckley continues to be our best player.
He can punt. He can punt
the ball.
We see a lot of them too, so we get to see a lot of good plays actually.
Yeah, he had a couple down weeks, but he returned to form. And
he was saving it all for this one. He was here for Noah Eagle and NBC's Bright Lights. He wanted a stunt in front of all the primetime guys.
Look, I actually think this is your fault. You didn't get the Noah Eagle bump for this game, and
I know.
So look, we've
Noah Eagle's great, by the way. I reached out to him. I did it way too late in the week, so that's entirely on me. But like, I had to give him credit for saying. I forgot verbatim what he said at the very end of that game, but these next few plays can be very important for some people out there as it pertains to the spread, of course, and then Alessio Milivojevic threw a dot out there. But let's talk about that here. You know what? I just want to introduce a topic of conversation that no one cares about, and that's why we're going to bury it in the third segment, but let's just do it anyway. Quarterback controversy? Let's talk. I don't care. I actually do care, but I don't. But I also do. Anyway, I do care about Gametime. That's right, the greatest ticketing app out there, guys. And hey, if you want to get into Spartan Stadium for the last game of the season against Penn State, who wouldn't want to do that? Go ahead and get your tickets over at Gametime. Guys, college football is back. If not for nothing else, we got the tailgates. I do like the concessions at Spartan Stadium, the Little Caesars that treated me very well a few weeks ago. And yeah, Zeke the Wonder Dog's still out there at halftime. So go ahead and get your tickets on Gametime. And why I love Gametime, it's so simple. This isn't a ticketing site where, great, $20 tickets. And then 18 taps later, those $20 tickets suddenly just became $75 tickets. No. Gametime is going to give you the upfront price It's 2 taps on your phone. They are sent straight to your phone, so you're not just rummaging through all your emails and wondering, oh my God, will I get the tickets before the game even starts? No, it's so simple. It's Gametime. So just start right now. Just start saving money with Gametime right now. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. Now let's drag it back out here again, guys. 1/3 of the fantastic Can't Read, Can't Write podcast. It's Mike Jones, and, let's do it. Quarterback controversy. Oh, do we need to bench Aiden Childs for Alessio Milivojevic? But let's just go through some numbers here. Aiden Childs, obviously, look, I was such a big fan of him. I still am a fan of him. I want to see success from him. But, I was such a big fan of his from last year going into the offseason that I was one episode away from having what it was called, an order, a restraining order against the Childs family. That's how big of a fan I was. But point blank, I mean, in the last few games, he's got 1 touchdown pass in this, I believe, 5-game wins or loss streak. He has 1 game above 50% completion in the last 4 games, and that was against Indiana. And then Saturday, first half, he was 4 of 13 in the first half. He turned it around a little bit in the second half, but too little too late. It was less than 30 yards going into the locker room at halftime. Whereas Alessio Milivojevic, in his last 4 games, he's thrown a touchdown pass in 3 of these things. Look, doesn't matter. Will either of these kids even be here next year if there's a staff change? Don't know, don't care. But, do you just want to see something different behind center for these last 4 games? Are you completely and utterly out on the Aiden Childs experience? Because I still think he's probably all around more talented, but boy, howdy, you ain't seeing it. So, why not just throw a bone to this Alessio Milivojevic kid from Illinois? Go get him, young man. You could talk me literally in either direction. That's how little I actually care. So go ahead.
I think of someone you've had on as a guest before, Al Karsten, tweeted out some other stats.
Not great.
Since week 4, 40.3% passing success rate, ranking 125th out of 140 qualifying FBS quarterbacks.
Not good.
Among Power 4 quarterbacks in that span, he ranks 9th lowest. He's also had a 30.8% success rate on throws of 10-plus air yards, which is ranked dead last. Unfortunately, Matt, I've been out on Aiden Childs for a while. We got some feedback for being
listen to your podcast.
We've been getting some feedback after the Boston College game that we were too negative. Ends up, I'm going to take a victory lap here.
Just do it on this show after I said that. Hey, everyone that doubted him, you guys are idiots. I don't know what happened after those first 4 games, man. He got on that plane back from USC, which even in that game he looked fine.
Yeah, he's had moments this season, but I guess here's the thing: because Milivojevic got in, I believe, in the USC game as well, if memory serves, and
sure.
It was maybe not. It doesn't matter. My point still stands. Milivojevic gets rid of the ball pretty quickly. He hits his drop back, gets rid of the ball.
It's got a good arm. Yeah.
At one point in time, in one half of a game, I'm pretty sure he got Nick Marsh more targets than Nick Marsh had in the previous 3 games.
The UCLA game. Yeah.
Also, you know who else seems to be on the field when Milivojevic is around? Tight ends. All of a sudden, tight ends catch passes. I understand that Aiden Childs in a 7-on-7 has arm talent. Mm-hmm. I understand what he's capable of doing with his legs, but oftentimes we see that sort of heroism in scramble situations. We're not seeing a lot done with designed runs. Based upon some of the injuries earlier in the year, I don't know that it would be wise to do the designed runs anyway. But I think there needs to be a change. What was the game they said Milivojevic might get the 3rd series, and then it didn't happen because Childs played his best game of the season.
Was it Indiana? Was it that one?
It might have been Indiana.
Or am I blurring it all together at this point?
Yeah, it's all sad. And the other thing is, if you're not going to fire a coordinator midseason, which I really maintain that Jonathan Smith should have fired Brian Lindgren and taken over play calling responsibilities. But you got to bench a quarterback. Like the offense has been, and this isn't about being performative. It's about you demonstrating as a coach that you're trying everything to win.
Yes.
And I think I would contend with it, literally anyone who wants to fight me on this, that you can't make a convincing argument to me that Aiden Chiles has been putting you in the best position to win.
He did, and then the calendar flipped to October. Like,
it's like a Loxley special.
It truly is. Oh my God,
he should go play for Maryland.
He's going to transfer to College Park next year.
Great.
Oh my God,
can't wait.
There's minus 5,000 odds on that right now at whatever sports book that you look at. But no, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because as you're talking, like, I realized what I wanted. Like, just do something different, right? Like, fire the coordinator, take play calling duties, change the color of the football. I don't try a few plays with just 10 men on the field. I mean, it's not like you're unfamiliar with committing to every other stupid pre-snap penalty possible. Like, just try something different. And if it's not going to be from the coaching level, just throw Alessio in there. Let him spin. Why not? I mean, what's the good in letting Alessio play? What's the harm in it at this point? Like, there's only good that could come from things now, right? We are what feels like rock bottom.
I know the D'Antonio saying it can always get worse. Can it?
Another monkey paw curly when he said that too. Like, we just got monkey paws just shriveling up left and right here on this episode. I guess it could. I guess he could be Wisconsin.
But I just mean in the season, what are we going to do? Lose another game?
I mean, 4 more actually is what we're going to do.
And I'll be there for the Maryland one.
I will too. Yeah, and I don't even have tickets yet, and I'm still going to go out of my way to buy them just because.
I'm going to use that $20 on Gametime to get it for free.
$20. That might get you first row on the. You might be calling the offense in the second half for $20. Look, before I let you go and just enjoy, hopefully, like, capture a smile here the rest of your night or your week, whatever.
I would be remiss. If I made anyone in the comments angry, we could do that.
I just clicked on the comments. I read through them. Everyone's just in such a great mood. All Michigan State fans too. It's just all everyone agreeing with one another and talk about how great the show is. So look, I would be remiss if I did any shows now these days with a staff fully gainfully employed still receiving checks for the foreseeable future from Michigan State University. I would be remiss if I didn't have a who's our next coach in 2026 question here, because
let's do it.
There have been some names flying around. One is very topical. The other one we've floated around, but in a much lesser capacity than head coach. Who would you rather have, Mike Jones? Would you rather have Brian Kelly as Michigan State's next head coach, or Max Bola? Now, Max Bola, everyone knows, linebacker during that great golden era of Michigan State football. Right now, he is currently a linebackers coach at Notre Dame, if you guys haven't been keeping up with him. But Brian Kelly, his story, just fired at LSU. Which one are you going with? You going with Bola? You going with Kelly?
Yeah, so to be clear, I will quit my podcast, and I will hound you every day until you quit your podcast if we ever hire Brian Kelly.
That would be some tough spin zoning to do, just ethically, morally.
Yeah, ethically, it's complicated. He's also clearly just not like a good human being.
Just a not nice person.
Yeah, there's nothing about that hire that interests me. And I will also say,
can he win 10 games? That's just with all this said. I'll edit this part out, but can he win 10 games here?
But James Franklin could. I'll take James Franklin over Brian Kelly.
I'm taking Franklin over the other two guys you just named. But yeah, but that's the fun of the question. Are you taking the young, inexperienced at a head coaching level guy, or are you taking a guy that he has one? He's kind of no, I can't use that word here. This is a family show. He's kind of no, not that one either. A jerk. He's a big old meanie. Do you take him? So who are you taking?
No, I'm going to take Bola, and it's not. If for no other reason than I hate this idea that Michigan State can't make a move because all the coaches will be gone because of the competitive job market. That doesn't make any sense to me. Will there suddenly be coaches next year that don't exist this year? Like, I just don't understand the logic of it. I also think that, as you see these, like, the Athletics is putting out these scorecards for different jobs. Like, what was the score for Indiana? And all of a sudden, now they've got the third highest paid coach who has a guarantee in his contract to be the third highest paid coach anytime he makes the semifinals.
Not
So,
bad.
like, and no one wanted to hire Sig. So, like, I guess my point being is that I'm almost certain that MSU's coach, whomever it will be, I hope I've never heard of them. I genuinely hope that I've never heard of them.
I like this. And
I have obviously heard of Max Bulla, but that is more in keeping with. And, Sig left being a position coach to go be a head coach because he wanted to jump the line. Like, I don't know. Why not? Let's get weird, Matt. Like,
I imagine the buyout will be low because, like, if you get in a spot 3 years in, it's not working. Like, okay, it's not like you're, paying double horrible buyouts potentially, but I don't know. Like, it would be different. Whenever I've talked about Bull on this show, and I talked about it under a defensive coordinator capacity, but you've always heard about whether it's NFL coaches, his teammates, talk about just how smart and cerebral of a player he is.
Sure.
He seems, whenever he's in front of a microphone at these Notre Dame press conferences, and I don't watch every single one, but whenever you do see it, he looks the part, which, God, I mean, that's one thing that I'm kicking myself for this Jonathan Smith tenure is letting, like, the lack of energy and the lack of emotion just go on way too far because like, no, that does mean something. Like, so, like, the optics of what you are as a leader do matter, and he's got that at least checked off too.
It matters for your donor base too, by the way. Like,
it does.
The fire you show is directly related to the fire that your fan base feels. And who's to say, again, like, I'm not saying Bulla is the name that, like, I'm going to bat for, but between the dichotomy you've given me here, like, easily my choice. And you know what? If he is right, who's to say that we can't find somebody? This is a bad example because it went so terribly. But, Juwan Howard got hired, and they brought in Phil Martelli.
Did that go bad? Hold on. No, I thought things went great there. I was told that he's going to be the greatest head coach in the state of Michigan. What?
But you could see, I don't know who the person would be. It's certainly not Harlan Barnett, but you could see bringing in somebody who's run a program before. Maybe even at a lower level, but, like, who can be there to support. I have confidence that I think all of these people are all of these people who work in this space are super competitive individuals. And so I don't think that Bulla would be too afraid to go get somebody who's got a ton of experience on coordinating. Yeah. Like, just because he wants to win, right? Like, they all want to win. So yeah, give me Bulla, and it's not like I don't have to blink twice about it.
Okay, really quick. You could open it up to anyone. And it can be reasonable. It can be without reason. Like, who are you going to go with? If you want to say Dan Campbell, for example, by all means. But if you want, like, a realistic, like, on the job market, like, who would you go with right now for state? With Jonathan Smith still gainfully employed, by the way. Like, I have to just point out the hilarity in that, but everyone's doing it, so why not just?
I mean, I think the dream scenario is you say, "Hey, Nick, come finish the swing. Give me 3 years.
Yep.
You get to pick your successor. And we're going to tell everyone it's 3 years and 3 years only." Yep. But, like, that, like, it may bring in Bulla, train him up, get him ready to go, and then we'll pass the torch there. Like, I don't know.
Now hold on now, because Bulla was like a grad assistant at Bama. There is a connection there. They probably still talk all the time.
Maybe Nick comes on as like a special advisor or something. Like, I don't know. I don't care.
He FaceTimes him a half hour every week. Sure, that's fine.
And you know what? If we win a national championship in those 3 years, Nick Saban can be the first person to hoist the trophy. Yeah, because it is his. It is his national championship. I will say though. I mean, look, Dan Campbell, right? Is also kind of an example of somebody who I believe was hired and was kind of a head scratcher for some people. And it worked out, right? Culture matters, and I do think, having somebody like Tom Izzo, probably a select group of former players, probably tied to the D'Antonio era in particular,
who have been vocal, by the way, which I love seeing.
Yeah,
so,
but I think you need to find people who know what it means to be a Spartan. I remember hearing John Kirby talk about how becoming a Michigan State basketball fan was really a reflection of what it meant to be a Spartan outside of like this idea that I'm going to out hustle you, I'm going to outwork you, right? That culture, I think we saw in the D'Antonio era. We certainly see it in our hoops team, and it's part of, I think, what ties us as alums back to the school and how we present ourselves. So, not to get overly philosophical, but whomever they hire, I do think you need to make sure that you nail that cultural component. I don't care if they're from the West Coast. Like Sig would have been a great hire here because he's kind of a jerk. Like in a way that I think Spartans can, like, he's petty.
Like a fun jerk, not like Brian Kelly, but like a fun.
He holds grudges.
Jerk,
like,
right,
no. He's one of us. Like,
right.
And so, no, I think nailing that piece of the hire, which is again why I hope I've never heard of this person. I hope they have an inferiority complex to the Michigan fans probably in the mentions right now. Yes. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like, it fuels me on a daily basis, and it's what makes me, and I think a lot of great Spartan legends, better, is that they want to outwork you. And so I hope that's what we get here.
I love that. I'll take that. Whoever it is, whether it's Brian Kelly himself, like Mike definitely wants, as he said the last few minutes, or hey, Alex Golish down at South Florida, Midwest roots. He's got that cold, bitter Russian blood in him. I mean, why not? Let's just whatever it is. It has to get better because I would like it to be better, Mike. I mean, I can't keep doing this.
No. Have you seen one bowl game, two bowl games since you started doing this?
Two, whatever the one in 2019 was, a storied bowl game. Who could forget it? It was, of course, the
was that the one at Yankee Stadium? Bowl. Yeah,
of course. Who could forget that one? And then the Peach Bowl was fun. Yeah. That was actually like unironically fun. And then I haven't smiled on the show ever since. So that's not true. I smile whenever I talk to you, Mike. You're the best.
You're the best.
All you guys are fantastic over at Can't Read, Can't Write. Go catch them, guys. And my God, Mr. Locked On, he's going to write me a sternly written letter going 41 minutes. Goodness gracious. There's going to be an unmarked van outside of my house tomorrow. But until that happens, guys, take care of yourselves. Mike, thanks a lot for hopping on the show. It's very cathartic and therapeutic.
Of course.
I guess that's just what I'm going to call it to make myself feel better. But guys, Spartan fans, Wolverine fans, fans of whatever you are out there, love you all.
Go green.
Go green.
Go away, buddy.